Hey everybody, it's Craig back in the sports cabin on this Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday, and I thought I'd spin a yarn about the Chicago Cubs. You know, since the Cubs finally won the NL pennant, the stories have flown like a ball driven by the wind at Wrigley. I've sat in the press box several times, on the field more than a few times, and every time I set foot on the hallowed ground, the Cubs stunk up the joint. I was reminded of one classic tirade that's going to go down in Cubs history as the worst or perhaps the best ever. My friend Ed Curtis emailed me the rant by Cubs manager Lee Elia. This goes back to 1983. Ed is a Cardinals fan, so he has a stockpile of anti-Cub material. Lee Elia was the Cubs manager in 83 and made it through 123 of the 162 in 84. He was fired and replaced by Charlie Fox. Lee is one of the few Albanian Americans to ever play and manage in the majors. I'm not suggesting Albanians are unusual, however. His 1983 team had just lost their 14th of the young season near the end of April against only 5 wins. They're 5-14. Elia then took on the media at the postgame news conference and let fly the loudest F-bomb-driven tirade in the history of Major League Baseball or any other sport known to man. I'd recreate it for you, but I wouldn't get 2 words into it before I got slam dunked. Lee let it be known he didn't appreciate his guys being given a rough time by the few people paying to see the team. Wrigley Field wasn't much of an attraction in the early 80s. Elia suggested, in not so subtle terms, the only fans who did show up must be bums out of work. I guess his point was if more fans showed up, the Cubs would win more often. Of course, that certainly was not the case for more years than we can remember. Elia was fired, and in 1984, the Cubs, with brand-new manager Jim Fry, turned it around, won 96 games. However, even with a packed house, they lost the National League Championship Series to the Padres in 5 games. I suggest you check out the tirade of Elia on YouTube, but I want to caution you, don't hit the start button at church or just before that Thanksgiving meal. Craig Roberts on click2houston.com.